guys, welcome back to Mansell Media Corner, and today I'm going to show you my collection of superstars specials on WWE DVD. Now you might think to yourself, what are superstar specials? Well, they're my true story of WrestleManias, the best like of the Attitude Era and best of Saturday night's main event, and like NXT, etc. But there'll be like things like more included in this video. So let's start with a recent release. But what a documentary this is! It's The Undertaker: The Last Ride. What can I say? Absolute classic. Behind the scenes like documentary with the man himself, Mark Calloway's The Undertaker, but it's really fascinating documentary. Then we got the first of the true stories, but this one is a true story of the Royal Rumble. Okay, really great documentary. The matches and the Royal Rumble matches include the first one was 1988, classic in 1994 with Bret the Hitman Hart and Lex Luger co-joint winners, classic in 2001, awesome Royal Rumble match in 2007. But you've got the likes of The Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter for 1991. You got the Rockers and the Orient Express as well in the same year. Got Kurt Angle and Taz from 2000. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair from 2016, I believe. Rock and CM Punk from 2013. So yeah, really good documentary. I think you can buy it on Blu-ray. Then we have the best of Saturday night's main event. Again, this isn't, this is an awesome DVD to get from 2008. And it was owned by Silver Vision. As you can see, a lot of awesome matches. Got the likes of Twin Towers, which is Big Boss Man and Akeem versus the Mega Powers. Got the main event as well, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, and famous for the twin referees, which is, I think, Earl Hebner's may have been his first WWE appearance. Got a big battle royale as well. Got best out of three falls match between the Hart Foundation and the British Bulldogs. Got Bret the Hitman Hart versus Macho Man Randy Savage from 1987. Got the Rockers versus the Brainbusters, which was the Rockers, which are Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty versus Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. You'd have like stuff from 1990 and 1992, like the British Bulldog versus Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship. Great Intercontinental Championship match between Mr. Perfect and Tito Santana. Have a 20-man battle royale. You'd also have Bret the Hitman Hart versus $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. So that's another great DVD to get. Speaking of true stories, true story of WrestleMania and a very young looking Vince. But this set is from, I'm going to say 2011. I'm going to say it's in 2011 because it's like WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 27, which is 2011. So yeah, awesome matches galore. You got the Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, absolute classic. First ever ladder match. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. I think it's got the Ricky Dragon Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage for the Intercontinental Championship, but what a great documentary. Then we've got the legend himself, The Undertaker. You've got the first time ever the WWE Championship match was contested at the Survivor Series versus Hulk Hogan. Decent casket match with Yokozuna at the Royal Rumble. Got Bret the Hitman Hart versus The Undertaker at 97 SummerSlam. You got Revenge of the Taker as well. Got Bad Blood, the first ever Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels, and also Ground Zero. We've got the infamous Hell in a Cell match with Mankind, absolute classic. Got the Buried Alive match with Mr. McMahon at the Survivor Series 2003. Then you've got WCW, but it's the Best of Sting. Never seen him in that attire before. I don't know what period that is, but that's definitely the Crow Sting. But if you like classic Sting, there's a lot of Sting on this one, obviously. But you've got, I think it's Sting and the legendary Great Muta versus the Steiner Brothers. You've got Nikita Koloff, I think, from the Great American Bash, if I'm not rightly. Excuse me. There's a lot of great matches. Of that match recently, what we live in a war covered, which is Wrestling Bias channel, awesome YouTuber, with Sting versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Got the Starcade Hulk Hogan versus Sting match. And of course got the Great American Bash match, which is Sting versus an outlaw Ric Flair. Then we got the best of 2018 in 2018, which is 24, which has got the likes of Empowered, which is the women of the WWE in 2018. You got the Hardys, Woken Men, now returned in 2017. Raw 25. Get WrestleMania Orlando, which is WrestleMania 33. There's some images of WrestleMania Raw 25, WrestleMania 33. Royal Rumble 2018, which is the first female Royal Rumble, but what a match it is. I believe that's WrestleMania 33, Charlotte Flair. Then we've got another Sting DVD called Into the Light. This is when he officially signed for WWE. Before his, I think it might have been just after WrestleMania and this came out, but the documentary is from like 2014 when he got signed to WWE, and it shows it like behind the scenes of him signing his contract. But the likes of which in matches, he got Ravishing Recruit on. We had some great matches between the two. You've got Lex Luger and Sting versus the Steiner Brothers for the first ever Super Bowl 1991. You've got Sting versus Triple H from WrestleMania 31. So again, another great Sting documentary, strike matches. Worth getting. You can see there's some matches as well. It's got likes of Bill Goldberg, the legendary Great Muta, which is Starcade 89. So I've got that VHS awesome match as well. Got Sting vs Great Muta on there, April 1st. April Fool's Day, I think it is, in 1991. They're the first ever Clash of Champions, I think, Sting versus Ric Flair, but some awesome matches and again a great documentary. Then we've got NXT greatest matches, and on the front cover we got Sami Zayn, Big E, Finn Balor in his demon persona, Kevin Owens, Neville now known as Pac. You got the 4 horsewomen, which is Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley and Paige. But some awesome matches in this one. You got Seth Rollins when he won the first ever NXT Championship match with Jinder Mahal. Got Big Cass and Enzo Amore. So you got an absolute awesome match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Got the likes of Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. I think that might be Tyler Breeze versus Sami Zayn. But yeah, really good documentary. Really good slipcover as well. Then we got, speaking of NXT, the best of NXT TakeOver 2018, which has got the War Games. This is the Undisputed Era versus the Viking Raiders. Ricochet and Pete Dunne. Got Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano and Mustache Mountain, which was Tyler Breeze. I forget his partner's name, but they take on the team of Roderick Strong and I think outside Skylar Riley and Bobby Fish, absolute classic. But what a match, what a classic matches you've got as well. Like I said, you know, Pete Dunne in that War Games match is amazing. Of course, it's more famous for the brilliant moonsault by that guy over there, Ricochet. Members of the Undisputed Era, which at the time got more Ranallo, the biggest Mamma Mia he ever said, which is one of his gimmicks as a commentator. Then you've got the Attitude Era, which is, there's a lot of references. So you've got, can't really see, but it's Gilbert, Grapefruits, got Puppies, which Jerry the King Lawley used to say, and lots of legendary moments. So you've got likes of Mike Tyson joining DX in 1998, got likes of Acolyte Protection Agency. I think you've got Mae Young gives birth. But you got the 4 main guys at the Attitude Era: Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H and The Undertaker. But you get like really good promos. You've even got the Armageddon 2000 Hell in a Cell match, which is quality. Who remembers that moment as well, Stone Cold Steve Austin? and I think it's Mr. McMahon's limo, or it could be The Rock. But yeah, really good documentary to get. Speaking of awesome, you've got War the Beginning, the best of seasons 1 and 2, with the likes of Bret the Hitman Hart on the front cover, Yokozuna, Undertaker, Mr. Perfect Doink, Shawn Michaels. But this match is pretty cool. You got a lumberjack match for the Intercontinental Championship, Shawn Michaels versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You've got the 1, 2, 3 Kid. They're known as the Kid versus Razor Ramon. Got Bam Bam Bigelow versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Got Mr. Perfect versus Nature Boy Ric Flair. Got Rocket Own Hart versus 1, 2, 3 Kid. You got the awesome WWE Championship match, Bret the Hitman Hart versus the 1, 2, 3 Kid. Lots more. Then we got Shawn Michaels unreleased. Again, really good WWE DVD. So it starts off with 1995 with Tim Horner and Shawn Michaels versus Hector Chavo Guerrero Sr. You got from 1985 Shawn Michaels versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Got the Midnight Rockers, who was later known as the Rockers, with Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Again against Pretty Boy Doug Summers and Playboy Buddy Rose. We go to like 1988, they got the Rockers versus the Fabulous Russos, Rockers versus Demolition, Rockers versus the Art Foundation, the Orient Express. Then you got WrestleMania wrap-up, Shawn Michaels and versus Diesel. You got Shawn Michaels and Diesel versus Head Shrinkers. That's just this one, this thing, but you've got the likes of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker versus John Bradshaw Layfield and Vladimir Kozlov. Shawn Michaels versus Vader from 1996. Shawn Michaels versus Brooklyn Brawler from 97, when Shawn's a heel in DX. You got the likes of Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Have Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle from Raw, I think, January 16th, 2006. Just put that back. Then we've got The Dawn and the Attitude Era, which is like a really good DVD set to get, with some legends on there. And on the matches you've got the amazing Owen Hart versus British Bulldog for the European Championship final. Got Psycho Sid versus Shawn Michaels. Got Bret versus Psycho Sid when Bret snaps at Vince McMahon. You've got the awesome WrestleMania 13 Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Again, the street fight as well. You've got the Montreal Screwjob match. You've got British Bulldog versus Shawn Michaels from One Night Only in the Birmingham NEC. But you got The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Also got like a round table discussion with Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Kane, The Godfather and Ron Simmons. Then we've got the legendary Undertaker's deadliest matches. This has got the Kamala match from Survivor Series 1992. It's got a body bag match with the Ultimate Warrior. Stone Cold Buried Alive match, which is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker. I think it's coming up soon on Wrestling Bios. The infamous Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker Randy Orton. Last man standing match for the championship, which is Backlash 2007. Then we've got World Championship Wrestling War Games, most notorious matches. You can see that image is War Games 98. But you get like snippets of Dusty Rhodes, who came up with the War Games, talking about the creation and the backstage. But you've got two great War Games. Football, the War Games match, the NWO versus the Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger and Sting. Of course, the Amazing War Games match, Wrestle War 1992. What a match that is. All future Hall of Famers in my opinion. Of course, you've got the War Games 97 and Russo's Revenge, which is 2000, if I recall right, likely on Nitro. Then we got another WWE best of. This is 2020, which is covering the pandemic when it first appeared. WrestleMania, The Show Must Go On, with Charlotte Flair, The Undertaker, John Cena and The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. You've got R-Truth documentary, Drew McIntyre, The Chosen One, and Edge, the second mountain, when he returned back from the, I can't remember if there's a concussion I think. But you've got the likes of the last man standing between Edge and Randy Orton and the pandemic and the Performance Centre. Drew McIntyre with his championship, The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. But if the rumours are true, I don't think Dave Meltzer is the biggest critic in like pro wrestling. He's very critical about certain things. Didn't like that match at all. But Dave Meltzer though gives like matches like star ratings. And we've got one of my all-time favourite wrestlers, Bret the Hitman Hart, the Dungeon Collection. Like everybody, with big influence when I was growing up. So you've got like stuff from Stampede Wrestling, which was owned by his dad, the late great Stu Hart, from like the 70s, when he was being a very young Bret Hart versus Dynamite Kid. You'd have like WWE, which would be in 1985, which was Bret versus Dynamite Kid. The Islanders, which was Heku and Tama. So you got the late great Andre the Giant from Milan, Italy. And got Ric Flair versus Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship. You got Tiger Mask 2 as a New Japan wrestling legend versus Bret the Hitman Hart. You got the Patriots and Ground Zero in your house. Bret Hitman Hart versus Booker T. Bret Hitman Hart versus Sting. for the WCW World Championship, but it was a semi-final match. So that's another great documentary to get. A couple more to go, but you've got Hulk Hogan Unreleased Collector's Series. Some of these have actually been aired before on TV and some on the network, but the earliest one is from 1979, 13th of November, Hulk Hogan when he was a heel versus Harry Valdez, or Valde. But you got logs of Bob Backlund as then WWE champion versus Hulk Hogan in 1980. Hulk Hogan versus Steve King and Angelo Gomez. All-Star Wrestling in 1980. You've got Andre the Giant. Got Hulk Hogan versus Nick Bockwinkel and Bobby the Brain Heenan. I think this would be in Hulk Hogan's earliest babyface run from the AWA. Of course, you got Hulk Hogan Mr. T in the grocery store. You got Hulk Hogan versus Ravishing Rick Rude from 1988. Got Hulk Hogan versus the Big Boss Man. Got Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter from UK Rampage. You got Hulk Hogan versus Kurt Angle, where Kurt Angle had the head gimmick. Got Hulk Hogan versus Nature Boy Ric Flair from 2002 on Raw, and you've got a couple from in the World Championship Wrestling. Then of course we got the great one himself, The Rock. These are just mainly matches, but you've got the likes of the Royal Rumble 2002, Chris Jericho versus The Rock. I think that's from that match. Booker T versus The Rock. Triple H versus The Rock at Backlash. I remember that match being a classic. And of course got the McMahon Helmsley regime versus The Rock, which was Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I'm not too sure if those dating in real life or... But you've got the likes of Nation versus DX, which is Triple H versus The Rock. Mankind versus Rock, Last Man Standing. What great matches they had as well. Also you've got the classic Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, WrestleMania 18. Rock versus Eddie Guerrero. You got the legendary Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. Next you've just got some legendary promos. Most famous one being the Armageddon opponents, which was Rikishi, The Undertaker, Triple H, Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Of course, Billy's Prayer to God's hilarious as well. Of course, the Charleston as well. But again, you know, well documented to get all. Yes, so we've got next one. We've got Falls Count Anywhere with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not too sure if that's Bret Hitman Hart or, but you've got Triple H versus Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam 2002 included. Do excuse me. It's a 3-disc set, so you've got Pat Patterson versus Sergeant Slaughter from 1981. Jimmy Valentin, Miss Atlanta Lively. I'm not too sure who she was, but I'm going against Midnight Express with James E. Cornette, their manager, and he got Doom versus Barry Windham and Arn Anderson. Brutal match, that is. The Fun Falls County match between Macho Man Randy Savage and Heel Crush. Got an awesome Chicago street fight between Ahmed Johnson and the Legion of Doom versus Farouk, Savio, Vega and Crush. And an early appearance of D'Lo Brown as well. Got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret. Got a bit of ECW as well. But yeah, really good really good matches. Presented by Mick Foley himself, the legendary. Then we got another Hulk Hogan. This one is the Ultimate Anthology. It has got the likes of IWI versus Nick Bockwinkel. Got Hulk Hogan when he defeated Iron Sheik for the WWE Championship match. You've got Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. Then you got Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. And this was presented by the legend, the late great Mean Gene Oakland and Jimmy the Mouse of the South Art. You got Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter in 91. WrestleMania this Tuesday in Texas, which is Hulk Hogan versus then the champ, The Undertaker. And again, you got Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair at the Bash of the Beach. Got the Starcade Hogan versus Sting match. Got the Hall of Fame in its entirety. You've got the SummerSlam 2005 match. You got a couple from like early 80s, which is Hulk Hogan with Classy Freddie Blassie versus Tito Santana. Hulk Hogan with Luscious Johnny Valiant versus Sonny Rogers and Chuck Greenlee. But yeah, that's a really good documentary to get a hold of to do with matches. Speaking of talkers, can't go wrong with a bit of Roddy Piper, the unreleased matches of Roddy Piper, but you got the likes of Mr. Perfect, got Mr. Fuji, don't really tell, but it's definitely Fuji in there. Obviously Mick Fuji's even got some of his early NWA appearances. You got likes of Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Ravishing Rick Rude, who had some awesome matches. But yeah, that's a good documentary, good series of matches. Then we got one of the best talkers of all time in pro wrestling, Randy Macho Man Savage. So you've got Paul Roma, I think he might be known as Precious Paul Roma at the time in 1985, but you've got Troy Martin. Now, if you don't know who Troy Martin is, he was also known as Shane Douglas, but you've got Macho Man Randy Savage and Hercules versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Billy Jack Hayes. Got Macho Man Randy Savage in a steel cage versus $1 Million Man for the WWE Championship. Got Jesse the Body Ventura in tag team match with Macho Man Randy Savage against Mario Mancini and Mike Rice. Some of these are like unreleased matches, so you've got a really fun 6-man tag with Macho Man Randy Savage, Lady Roddy Piper and Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Ric Flair, Jake the Snake Roberts and The Undertaker. A match in 1999, Macho Man Randy Savage and Medusa versus Nature Boy Ric Flair and Little Nate himself, Charles Robinson, referee. So yeah, again another great documentary. Then you've got toward the 10th anniversary, which was 2003. You can see there, this was before Chris. As you see in the back, you've got Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Trish Stratus, you've got the DX, and then invaded WCW, you've got Sam McMahon telling Vince he purchased WCW, got The Rocket, Owen Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, a bedpan whacking Mr. McMahon. But great DVD turn. Probably hard to get because of Chris Benoit. Then we got a wrestler I remember growing up at the very first ever WWE figure, which was the Ultimate Warrior. This is the Ultimate Collection 3-disc set. Again, you've got early Ultimate Warrior, which is the Blade Runners with Sting, them going against Perry Jackson and Sean O'Reilly. Dingo Warrior versus Chris Adams in World Class Championship Wrestling, which was owned, I think, by the Von Erichs. Then you've got like WWE Challenge and Superstars. Brother Love moments, which if you don't know who Brother Love is, it's Bruce Pritchard with red face. But you've also got the career-ending match of Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior. You got Ultimate Warrior versus Andre the Giant, which is not at SummerSlam. It's like Madison Square Garden in Saturday night's main event. You have got that match, so the Ultimate Warrior versus Ravishing McCrude. Then we've got Starrcade, WWE production of Starrcade Essential Collection. Again, really good documentary matches. As you can see, the documentary contributions from Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, Road Warriors, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, David Crockett, and others. But the reason why I said the Road Warriors, I'm there against the Brainbusters. But we got contribution by Road Warrior Animal, who's no longer with us. But yeah, really good matches galore in this one, and Battle Bowl as well. And then we've got Wall 100, which is 100 greatest Raw moments. Of course, the infamous Shawn Michaels loses his smile image there. Also got a lot of iconic Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. But what's fascinating is you've got 52 50 to number 1, so it's like Sesame's like extras, etc. But you've also got the full 1000 episode of Raw from 2012. Plus you got the making of Raw 1000. But yeah, really good documentary. Really good documentary moments. Of course, you got the infamous Snitsky, "It's not my fault." Seeing Mr. McMahon, who've got Jericho and Shawn Michaels. And last one is an absolute classic, the unreleased 1986 to 1995 matches. It's like dark matches, but you've got the likes of The Undertaker involved in these matches, Roddy Piper, Shawn Michaels, Ultimate Warrior, Macho King Randy Savage and Bret Hart, Macho Man Randy Savage and Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, the Stewards and Sapphire, Mr. Perfect, Jerry Lawler and Yokozuna. So that's the collection. Anyhow, yeah, please like, share and subscribe, and to Mansell Media Corner as well as Wrestling Bars. I'll leave a link in the description. Heck of a YouTuber. He's covering, like I said, he covers Raw versus Nitro, which is called Reliving the War, but he does like other stuff to do with like pro wrestling, like WWE or World Championship Wrestling. But the guy's an awesome YouTuber, so please like, share and subscribe for Mansell Media Corner, and goodbye for